Hello, this is Mrs. Murdock, and this is a tutorial on how to calculate standard errors of the mean and then turn them into error bars that will then go onto a graph using Google Sheets. So I've got some sample banana data here. This is not the data from your lab. It's a data from another year. And what I'm going to do first is very quickly remind you of how to use these cells in Google Sheets. So you have the average. You're going to type equals into the cell, and it instantly knows that you want to calculate something. To tell it, I mean, I've already done it in this cell, so it thinks I want the average again, but it might not do that for you. So if you start calculating the name of the formula that you want, it will come up for you as a list. So A, V, E, and there's average, and that will work fine. And then you have to give it the data that you want it to average for you. So I'm going to highlight everything here, not the word green, but everything that is, there we go, it does the average for you. There it is. Okay, then there's another neat trick. If you take the white arrow, see that white arrow there, and you hover it down over the lower right-hand corner of the cell, you see how it turns into an X? If you then click and drag that, you can drag the formula into the other two boxes as long as the data above it is comparable and you want those cells to do the same thing with that data as it did with the first thing you calculated. You can click and drag that and it saves time. Standard deviation, hopefully you've watched Mr. Anderson's video by now. We're going to calculate the spread or variation in the data set, and that also you can get the machine to do for you. So equals ST, and standard diva is a good one to use. That's the one I use. It's fine. Standard deviation. And then again, highlight the data, press, and it does it for you. And again, you can click and drag that, and now it's done also in the other cells. All right, standard error. You can also have the computer calculate this for you, but you have to do it slightly differently because it doesn't have standard error of the mean as a formula. But you can still do it. So you go equals. You choose the standard deviation that you just calculated because that's part of the formula for standard error. So you choose that, and it puts it there. You say divide, so slash. You take the square root of the sample size. So you type in SQRT and enter it, and now it's waiting for the sample size, the n value. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 8 samples here, so I'm going to type the number 8, parentheses, and it does it for you again. Once again, I'm going to click and drag this across. That's done. All right, now I've got something here that I want you to look at. There's this strange lettering here that says 2 SEMs. All that means is that I am now going to take the standard errors that I just calculated and multiply them by 2. So when you put error bars on a professional science graph, what they almost always are doing is they're not just putting one value of the standard error on there, they're putting 2 values of the standard error, both going down and up around the average. So it's very easy. All you're going to do is take this number here and multiply it by 2. So equals 2 times the standard error you just calculated, and you have it, okay? And you're going to click on this and click and drag it across just like you did before. Okay, now why are we multiplying that by 2? The reason that we're using 2 values, and that scientists very often use 2 values of the standard error instead of just 1, is because it encapsulates more of the standard deviation, the variation of the data. So if you're using 2 standard error values and your error bars are a certain height and they're still not overlapping, that makes you even more confident because instead of with just 1 standard error, you've got about 80% of the variation spoken for in those bars. With 2 standard errors, you have 95% of the variation spoken for in those error bars. So if 95% of the data isn't overlapping, then you can be even more confident that your data for like the green versus the ripe are truly different, that there really is an effect of the greenness versus the yellowness of the banana on how many starch granules are in there. The other thing you should notice is that you've got too many decimals here, too many places. So let me show you an easy way to fix that. Go up here. See that little thing up there? If you click that, it will truncate your decimal spaces for you. And since most data didn't have more than a tenth, I'm not going to put more than a tenth as a significant figure. Okay, so there's my data. My average is here. There's my 3 average numbers, okay? And my standard errors that I'm going to turn into error bars are right there. So I'm going to place them down, whoops, no. I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to retype it so that it's vertical, so that my IV, banana ripeness, is presented this way, and my DV, average starch granules, that I'm counting is presented this way. And then I'm going to put the standard errors in, so I'm just going to do this. 1.9 and 1.1. There. Standard errors then, and really, I should say, 2 SEMs, right? Because I'm doing 2 values of the standard error. 27.2, 9.9, 1.2. There. Okay. Now I'm going to make my graph. So I am going to highlight my banana ripeness and my average starch granule data. There, just like that. And then I'm going to go up to Insert, Chart, and there's my chart, and that's fine. Okay, except that, let me see if I can get down here. Yes, all right, so I'm on Setup. See, I'm on Setup, and as soon as your chart pops up, this is the way that I have figured out how to put error bars on here. If you know a better way, please don't worry about doing that. Just go right ahead and do that. Let me just move myself over here. Okay, so you see that you have these 3 boxes down here beneath aggregate and add series and whatever that is. If you click the switch rows and columns, it turns your bar graph basically into a histogram. But that's okay, because now you can treat the green and the ripe and the overripe data with mathematically separately. And I've been able to get the error bars, different values of error bars onto each one more easily when it's in this format. But you have to do it first thing. Go to Setup, go down here where you have these 3 boxes and check this one and leave the other ones alone. Then you go to Customize. Customize is the second thing past Setup. Then you go to Series. Now look at this. Apply to all series. You don't want to do that. You want to do each series, green, ripe, and overripe, separately. So let's start with green first. Green. Now you go down and you look for error bars. Here's error bars. That's what we want to do. Check that box. We have a constant value that we calculated, so we don't want a percent, we want a constant value just for that blue bar. And 10 isn't the right number. The number was 27.2, I think. Okay, so that's the right error bar for the green. Now we're going to go back up and do the ripe. So we want the ripe banana, which is the red data bar. Go back down. There, that's helpful. Okay, there, 9.9 is my value. So down to error bars again, constant, and pretty close, 9.9, but we'll be scientific about it. There we go, there's my 2 error bars. Okay, the overripe data you can barely see here, but that's okay. We're going to put an error bar on it because that's science. So we're going to go do overripe, go down to error bar again, constant, and it's a 1.2 there, nice and tiny, very nice. And that's it. You have done it. That is how you get error bars onto your graph. Okay? Now this graph is not finished yet. You still have to work on that title. That's a terrible title. And average starch granules, should really be going away. I think there's a way to do that. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Banana ripeness is better. You have a key, that's fine. But this is a correct graph in terms of the heights of the data bars and the lengths of the error bars. Now remember to specify in your title that you used 2 SEMs. that needs to be specified in the title along with your sample size, n equals 8, right? Okay. So that is how you that's how you calculate those important statistics. That's how you make a graph and place the standard error bars onto the graph using Google Sheets, and I hope that was helpful.